Hello everyone, welcome to day number 3 of the FIDE Grand Prix 2022 in Berlin, Germany. And here we are once again featuring our very own Wesley So's game against Vachier-Lagrave. Unfortunately, it's another draw, but he tried. He tried hard this time around. Let's take a look at the game. Wesley was white, played d4. Lagrave knight f6, c4, g6, knight c3. As usual, Lagrave with his pet line, the Grunfeld defense. Anytime, anywhere. For d4, Grunfeld. For e4, it's the Najdorf. That is Lagrave for you. Okay, bishop g5, bishop g7, knight f3. Knight into e4, bishop f4, castles. Okay, another line here if you want. Okay, you could capture the knight also in f6. Black captures it with the bishop. You can capture it with the pawn. If you take with the knight, for example, the bishop just goes back to g7. You play e3, black has c5. White protects d4, for example, takes. Okay, knight takes d4, knight c6. Okay, development-wise, it's better for black. And look at this strong bishop on this diagonal. That b2 pawn is a target. Okay, it's an x-ray on b2. If you take on d5 with a pawn, it says you take d5, black also has this nice c5 move here. If you go for the en passant, okay, knight takes c6, e3, castles. Let's say knight into f3, queen to b6. Okay, queen d2, rook to d8. Let's say bishop c4, and queen to b4. Okay, it's a pawn up for white, but there's an imbalance. White still needs to castle. Pressure in b2 is there. Centralized rook. Alright, here Wesley went for knight into f3, and then bishop into f4. Okay, castles e3. c5, c takes d5, bishop f5, bishop e5. Okay, with this variation, we're going into a series of exchanges once again. Okay, takes on c3, takes on c3, takes on d5, everything takes, queen b3, you take, I take, black takes, it's just all taking, they're both hungry, takes, takes. Okay, white has a slight edge, okay, with the centralized pawns, but nothing much. Knight d7, king d2, centralized king, going into the endgame. Rook f d8, bishop d3, another exchange. Takes, takes. e5, okay, good central break, because now if you take, there's a discovered attack on your king. Rook h e1, takes on d4, knight takes d4. Centralized knight, pressure on the a pawn. a6, king c2, rook a c8. Okay, with a6, black now is able to use the rook on the c file. There's no more pressure on the a pawn. It relieves the pressure on the a7 pawn. Okay, rook ad1. Both rooks for Wesley are centralized on open files. Yeah, the e and d. King f8. All right, taking away the e7 square. Knight into f3. Knight c5. Another exchange. Takes b4. Knight into e6, g3, restricting the knight into the f4 square. B5. Okay, quite interesting, huh? This B5 move, because that pawn in A6 becomes backward. Okay, Wesley played knight E5, rook D6. The rook, of course, keeps an eye on that pawn in A6. Knight into D3. So Wesley's idea would be to go F4, G4, put the pawn in F5, where this rook goes to A1, and the knight on C5 once this knight moves away. But can he achieve that one? We'll see. Rook C6, F4. Alright. H5, good move. Restricting G4. King to B3. F6. Okay. Taking away the E5 square. King E7. Break. Takes. Now it's quite dangerous. Alright. Isolated pawns. But Lagrave has this nice undermining on H4. Black sacrifices the pawn, but also it makes the white pawns double, H4 and H2. And he has rook C4, he has this square to jump, to switch, alright, to the king's side, attacking H4. If Wesley decides to push that pawn, then he has rook H4 attacking H2 and H5. So Wesley keeps the pawn in H4, he played rook H5, rook E4, active rook. Again, rook E2 hitting that A2 pawn here. Wesley went for knight C5. Another exchange. Takes. Good move, rook C4. Well, Lagrave's endgame is spot on. After rook H7, they agreed to draw. Okay, if we continue, for example, here king to E6. You go rook A7, rook takes E5, rook takes A6, king goes to E7. Yep. Nothing much. This rook goes to H5, take all your pawns. What can you do? This is also pass pawn. Alright, so that was it. It's the third consecutive draw for Wesley. Okay, it's a double round robin, so they will play once again. Round 4, 5, and 6. Okay, that will just switch colors. Maybe Wesley is just trying to size up his opponents. And hopefully, in the second round robin, he will get that elusive point. Yeah, he needs to win. He needs to win. Nothing else. He just needs to win. You win, the spot will just be a bonus. Yeah, try to win first. Okay, that was it. So it's another draw for Wesley. And then we'll just wait for round number 4 for his first win, hopefully. If it happens, it happens. But we will continue our support of our good friend Wesley. Alright, no matter what. Okay. So that's it. Thank you for watching. And thank you for supporting our channel, Charles Max Chess and Charles Max Entertainment on our Facebook and YouTube. This is Coach Oliver. Stay safe, everyone. Bye.